Does anyone ever ask themselves, what's your why? I actually have no idea whether this is going to work. Paying the bills, that's getting by. As a broker, that's not necessarily knowing where your next deal's coming from, where your next listing, unit, whatever is coming from. It's all about conviction and confidence. Do you know what? I've got 5 times my bills in my account. But then, that doesn't stop there, does it? They're sitting with $500,000, $1 million, $2 million dirham in their bank account thinking, I can go for a year, 2 years, 3 years. It is important to go back again and do that, go through those motions again. And you do that with goal setting, it being in the right mindset. Well, that's fucking easy, isn't it, to do that? But actually, what you need to do is... So today's training session, we wanted to go through what's your why. What we found is when you come over as a broker, there's lots of different stages, isn't there? And as a business, we're all in different stages of our career and our lives. And I think it's very easy to become complacent. It's very easy to sit back, and it's very easy to get swallowed up in the struggle as well, right? So we just wanted to go through a little bit of training on, you know, where you're at personally. We'll get you guys to give us some examples to look at taking you to the next step, whatever that might be. Yeah? Okay. So does anyone ever ask themselves, what's your why? Do you ever think about it? Yeah? Good. What's your why? Perfect. Is the evolution of why. Yeah? It's going to change. If our why stays the same as my why stays the same as it was 7 years ago, it's going to be out of sync. So it's perfect you said that. Who else said yes? Cool. I feel like a lot of us look at it and think, oh, my why is to earn £1 million. My why is to have X amount, right? Maybe not now, but you might have thought that in the time. Why are we working so hard to get money? When you get money, you can sit with £1 million, £2 million, £3 million in your account. It doesn't change your life. It doesn't actually mean anything. Money's a tool. We'll go on to talk about this in a minute. There's no emotion attached to money. Breaking down whys, I've got 4 different, as you know, my writing and spelling is atrocious. Stage, can you all write this down? 1, survival. Believe it or not, that does say survival. Okay? So each and every single one of us has come off of a plane or got onto a plane with your missus, with your boyfriend, with your family, on your own, with that fucking thing in your stomach thinking, I actually have no idea whether this is going to work. Yeah? We've all done it. We've all come here, and we come here for a reason. The first stage of why, like you were saying earlier, and as it evolves, is the survival mode. Especially, and I've tried to link this a little bit to real estate, a little bit to us, okay? I was doing a little bit of research last night. I was watching a few videos on why to try and understand it a little bit more. And this is one that I really like that came up. So I feel like initially, thank you. And there's some people, maybe not necessarily in this room, but there is some people in this company that are fresh out of the UK or fresh out of a different job, and time is ticking. Do you all agree, right, that when you get off the plane, you have a certain amount of money in your bank account and time is literally ticking? That money is chipping away and you are in fucking meltdown mode. Yeah? So that is paying the bills, that's getting by. As a broker, that's not necessarily knowing where your next deal's coming from, where your next listing, unit, whatever is coming from. Yeah? We've all been through that. Some of us are going through it right now. Once that's done, you continue to keep going, right? And you remember that the next stage is to get to the next bit, right? The cars, the watches, the houses, the whatever that is. So that next bit is status, okay? And they're all, it's all interlinked, right? So we graft here to get to here. We keep going, we keep going, we keep going. With this, builds confidence and conviction. For those of you who were in the psychology session we did a couple of weeks ago, it's all about conviction and confidence. Once you start to build the conviction, when you go into a meeting and you know you're going to take that unit, you go into a buyer meeting, you know you're going to close it, you've got confidence. Build status. That means you go out and buy that car. Who in here's bought their car that they wanted for ages? Yeah? It's a fucking nice feeling, right? The watch. Yeah? That whatever it is that you've had on your mood board as your background, whatever that is. But that is status. So it's nice, but it's edging into keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah? It's a massive thing. And it's part of the journey, right? Like you said, the evolution of the initial, my why is to get by. My why is to get the fuck out of bed and pay my fucking bills. The next why is to go, do you know what? I've got 5 times my bills in my account, which means I can go buy a watch, a car, a fucking tailored suit, whatever it is that I want. But then, that doesn't stop there, does it? Because if that stops there, then you become complacent. So the next thing that comes there is freedom. Okay? Some of us in this room, a lot of people in this business are now in a position where they're free. They bought their car, they bought their house, they bought their, whatever it is that they set out to have on their mood board. They're sitting with $500,000, $1 million, $2 million dirham in their bank account thinking, I can go for a year, 2 years, 3 years. I'm sweet. I don't have to do that deal. I want to do it, but I don't have to do it. With that is a very, very, very dangerous area to be in because you can become very complacent, okay? And what happens is when you're in this position and you have this massive amount of money or whatever it is in your life, you have to then rejig. You have to start to look at, okay, what's next? What is my reason for going again? Because it's not money anymore because I've got money. As a business, we're looking as a business, right? To be really honest and open with you, we started out with a handful of us. Okay, we're going to grow to here. You grow to there, you hit the revenue target you want. What's next? Well, we go again. Okay, what does that mean? We go and take a 3,000 square foot office. Okay, we iron that out. Okay, we go and take a 7,000 square foot office. We iron that out. We're living to a little bit of this to go, every time we get it, we spend it, but we're spending it in the right way. Yeah? To grow and get bigger, we reset and we re-go with our goals. Freedom is really, really good, but then we have to go again, okay? So when we're in that position, we then have to work out, the last one, what our purpose is. It does, it does. And everyone's going to be slightly different, right? My why is going to be different to yours because I'm in a different stage of my life. I've got kids, I've got family, I've got whatever. Your why might be to buy your first home. Whatever it is, it might be completely different. But it is important to go back again and do that, go through those motions again. And you do that with goal setting, it being in the right mindset. Okay? What Jay was saying about Jamie Fraser, someone asked a question on Jamie Fraser, when you hit your goal, what do? We just set another goal. Well, that's fucking easy, isn't it, to do that? But actually, what you need to do is, first of all, reward yourself. What we do, let's be honest, what we do is stressful. And the bigger you get, and the bigger the deals get, the more stress comes with that. If you've got, right now, if you've got 8K as a deal, that might be a stress. And then it goes to 50K. And then it goes to 100, then 500, then 1 million. It's stressful. So if you're doing these deals, yeah, and you have no understanding of your why, and you have no real next stage of where I'm going to go next, you do that deal, you get that money, and you almost get an anticlimax. The day I bought my house, I sat in my house, I thought, not quite what I thought. I've worked so hard, I've spent all this money, I've done it all, and I'm sat there like, it doesn't really mean anything, does it? Have we ever had that? You go, you work so fucking hard, you buy something. So at that point, that's the point to reset. Okay, I've done it, what's next? And it doesn't have to be monetary. It can be family, it can be kids, it can be flying people out, taking people for dinner. It can be small things and big things. It doesn't have to be spending millions, right? It can be saying, I want to bring my mum out here and take her for dinner in fucking Roberto's and spend £1,000 on dinner and not worry about it. But it's down to you to set those goals and realise that purpose is so important. And with purpose, it comes perception, which we're going to talk about a lot in detail today. I think one massive thing that I always try, you'll never, ever, 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 ever hear me, and you, in my whole life, tell you I'm skint. If I have minus £55,000 in my account, I'm not going to tell I'm skint, ever, because it won't come into my head that I'm skint. I just can't afford it right now. I'm not skint, I won't be skint, because it's a mindset, yeah? So we have to start changing our mindsets, because I want to be perceived as nice, sweet. If me and you are having a coffee and Adam comes over and sits down and I get up, walk off, and Adam doesn't know me and he says to you, who's that guy? What do I want you to say about me when I walk off? That's what we should all be thinking about. How do I want to be perceived? When I walk into a room, a seller's meeting, and they go, you that guy? You that girl? Yeah. What fucking okay. That's how you want to be perceived. Okay? So I want you to think about these, and I want you to work out, you don't have to say it now, what stage you're in. We're all going to be in different stages. Okay? And with that, then link in whatever stage you're at, how you're going to get to that next stage. Set a time frame. Set some goals that link in with this. So if you're at this stage, it's to get to this, to pay your rent off in full, to buy that car, to do whatever it is. Okay? And then be accountable. The biggest thing is being accountable, holding your hands up. Yeah, I fucked up, I went out, had it, and I shouldn't have done, and it's ruined this. Yes, I hit my goal, I achieved it, now on to the next one. It can cause complacency, which then what happens is all this dough that you've got, and I'm relating it to money, but it can be anything, but let's relate it to money today. You're sat on a bank of 500,000 dirham. You're spending in freedom mode, which means you've got watches, which means you're taking your wife out, your husband out, you're this, you're that, you're buying things, you're going down West Beach, you're having it off, you're doing whatever it is you do. There's a maintenance that requires that, right? So if you have a bank of money, it doesn't last forever, does it? You go buy 5 Rolexes, the money goes. Whatever watch you're going to buy. You go iron out your dream car, the money goes. So then you're going to end up back here or back here. So there has to be that vision and those goals to keep you going, to maintain that, right? To get you out of this. Otherwise, you go into panic mode, and then what happens when you go into panic? You become desperate. And you can smell that from a mile away. I think we're all brought up differently. I was brought up in a way that I was told you're going to earn 1,000 quid a month, okay? And out of 1,000 quid a month, you're going to spend 300. You're going to have your 300 for maintenance, and then you've got 400 you're going to try and save. Yeah, that was the mindset I was brought up in. Not that I fucking did it, but that was what I was told to do as a kid. Okay, so then you build this big fucking pot up that when you get to about 90, you get access to, that you can't use, you can't do anything fun with it, and then you die and hand it down. Right, realistically, that's what happens. Whereas I've learned, I'm lucky enough to work with some ultra wealthy billionaires, and when you look at the way they spent money, I'll never forget, I sold him a plot, he sold the plot back to Iman, he lost 3 million dirham. I was fucking mortified. I was so upset, because I was like, I've lost you 3 million dirham. He said, it's fine, because I'm replacing it with this, and that will make me 5 million. And it resonated with me to be like, do you know what? There's no emotional attachment with your money. So it's not that you've lost your 3 million. Your 3 million that's gone there, it's gone now, but it'll be there. You're going to get it back. It hasn't got your fucking name on it. It's gone there, but you'll get it back here. And if you look at money like that, it's just a tool. Yeah? So in answer to your question, you should have the nice things. Use that. Ideally, you want to buy an investment that then pays for your watch, your car, your whatever. But yes, I don't think you should be sat. I'm not very good if I have zero in my bank. I don't work very well like that, because I'm fantastic under pressure, but I'm not good under pressure when I'm worrying about how I'm going to pay my mortgage. I don't like that feeling. I can have 20 million in the bank. It doesn't bother me at all. I'll keep going. I'll get up every morning at 5 and I'll keep going, because I have my motivation and my why put in my head, and it's nothing to do with that. So it depends on what your why is. It depends on you as a person, and it depends on how you work. Us three, as owners, work very, very differently. We know exactly how we all work. Some of us are good with money, some of us are good without money. It just depends. When you get through the status, yeah, you've set a standard. What do we all have in common in this business? We're all here because we have fucking high standards, right? That's why we're here. That's why we are what we are. If you buy a house and you have a mortgage of 30,000 dirham a month, that's your standard. You have to make 50. You have to, without doing fucking anything. You have to, and you will. But if you don't understand this, how can you do that? The more you burn through, the more problems you're going to come to, right? If you're burning through 100 grand a month and you have no control and you have no strategy, your problems are going to be a lot bigger than if you're burning through 10 grand a month. Would you agree? I use coffee as an example. Personally, I enjoy having a coffee. So it doesn't affect me, and I enjoy going the experience of it. So it's a standard, isn't it? It's ridiculous because I'm buying a coffee that's an espresso, which is this big, and it's far too much. But I like that, and I don't mind that. But if you're doing that and you can't afford it, or you're coming to the end of the month and 30% of your income is going on coffee, simple, that's it, right? Then that is the P&L, isn't it? It goes back again. I keep moving to this again, right? But if you're going to go and using the flights as an example, okay, you're spending 3 times the amount of an economy, but the people you're going to be surrounded with, I used to pay for a golf membership and think, fucking hell, 6,500 quid a year for a golf membership, it's ridiculous. So made it my fucking mission to sell 1 house a year that then brought me and paid it off, right? But then you're realising you're around these people that can all afford that. I couldn't afford it, but I did it. But they can all afford it. So instantly my network becomes them. So you're speculating to accumulate. You're instantly in with them. You're the real estate guy in with the team, and you go in and everyone knows you. So you have to spend to get back as well. You have to buy that car, especially in our industry, to turn up and they go, oh, you are the real deal. You have to turn, oh, fucking hell, nice watch. Because that you can't turn up you have to be in a suit and all these things. You can play on that, right? If you know that Dubai is that way inclined, which it is, yeah, then play on it. Then buy the nice car, because instantly people think that you're wealthy. Whether you are, you aren't, it doesn't matter. You're taking control of the situation and playing into their hand. You're faking it till you make it. Yeah, you're turning up, they go, fucking hell, he's got an SVR. Okay, he doesn't know that might be ticked or that might be whatever. He doesn't need to know, it doesn't matter, because in his head, you're a fucking millionaire. And then you need that to close the deal. And it will actually work in a disadvantage if you're earning that money, but you're living, if you're here, but you're living here. If you're living in a studio apartment, wherever it is, but you can afford a 2-bed, you have people stay and they can't stay with you, and what are you doing? What the fuck is the point in working so fucking hard? If you're still going and thinking, I don't really want to go down to the IFC because it costs me 2,000 dirham, I'll go to Mall of Emirates. I'm not saying any of you are doing this, but if you're living in that lifestyle, you need to have the P&L, but you also need to know, I can't go and do that. That's the whole point, to go and celebrate the wins. That doesn't mean go on a fucking 3-day bender when you do a big deal, but step into that role. You've got to step into that role. You've got to be and it's quite scary as well, right? I remember buying my house, I absolutely fucking skinted myself. I committed to a 550 grand refurb that I could not afford. And I'm running around trying to do deals to make the money to pay it off. But if you step into that role, then you sit in it. I had the anticlimax of being in it. But you then become that person, right? And then when you become that person, okay, this is my standard now. This is what I do. I wanted to talk a little bit about goals and mindset, right? So we did a session a couple of weeks ago on psychology, conviction. Who was in it? Was anyone in it? Okay, good. 1 out of about 30, brilliant. Who looks at that goal on a Friday? Religiously, yeah? You do that? Okay. So no one else does it. That's a problem. We do it. If you notice, we meet on a Monday morning at 8:30. One of us always forgets about the meeting. And then on a Friday, we re-meet again. What have you done through the week? Because you're accountable, because we're adults, because we have to understand that I set this and I have to come here and achieve this. And if I don't achieve it, it's going to roll over into next week. And if it's going to roll over into next week, what am I going to do about it? Because I can't just cross my fucking fingers and hope to God that I'm going to achieve it, because life doesn't work like that, right? So we have to start setting goals. At the beginning of each week, on a Sunday night, what are you going to achieve? It doesn't have to be 100 calls a day. It can be, I'm working on a seller and I'm going to get him across the line to get him. And all you're going to do all week is focus on that one thing. And by the time you get to Friday, you go, I've got it listed. Okay, I achieved that. You don't need to make it a million things. And that sense of achievement then rolls over into next week. Okay, I did that, what next? I did that, what next? Okay, now how can I improve that? I did one, now I need to do two. That's how you get better, right? If you're going to lose weight, the PT will break it down. You eat this, you train this, and you'll become this, right? Whereas if you go gym but you don't concentrate on your food, you're never going to lose any weight. It's the same thing. So we have to start setting goals. Do I know anyone that spends £5,000 a month on a mortgage, as an example? I know loads of people here that do it. Do I know anyone? I don't know people that earn 5,000 quid a month in the UK. They don't spend it on a mortgage. So it's standards. A lot of people in here compare to the UK, especially if you're younger, right? I find a lot of people, especially if your friends are still at uni or just out of uni, out travelling, my mates still work in Tesco's. All right, fine, but you can't compare yourself to them. You have to pick someone here. You have to have a comparable here. There's no fucking point in comparing yourself to the bread cutter at Tesco's, because you're never going to be on the same page, are you? But you're not. He's earning 500 quid a month, you're earning 20 grand a month. It's two completely different things. So we have to rejig and go, okay, so who do I want to be like? What, and it can be anyone. But why do I want to be like them? Because of the way they're perceived, because of what they're doing, because of whatever that is, make that note and start to build your plan. I think as well, you're just sitting there ticking it off. So you're looking at it to say, oh my God, I didn't get up this morning to go to the gym. Yeah? Whereas if you get to Sunday and you say, my aim was to go to the gym 5 times and I went 4, it's not quite there, but it's good, I need to go 5 next week. Or, yeah, I actually did do 5 sessions, I fitted it in on a Sunday instead of a Thursday. So I think you've got to have that second meeting with yourself for accountability to say, what did I actually do? And if you can do that on a Friday, you've then got still 2 more days of the week to get going. So if it's financial, shit, I need to hit target. When I had targets against me when I was selling, I was relentless. I'd keep fucking going. I wouldn't leave the office because I had to hit the fucking target. But it's boring, not subjective. Boring if you get to 60 years old and you're still going down the same fucking pub, having 8 pints on a Friday night with £300 in your bank account. That's fucking boring. But to some people, that's the greatest fucking thing in the world. Right? So you've got to justify what actually, it's not boring, it's strategic. You're setting your goals and your life out in front of you. The reason that the sessions are broken into 2 was to make it more intimate so that there isn't that many people. So if you did want to talk, obviously you don't have to talk about your finances or whatever, but if there's things that you're struggling with, yeah, if some of you don't have to say, but if some of you are in these different positions where I could need a bit of help, we're here to help. I'm more than happy, or all of us are more than happy to sit down with you on a one-to-one basis. And if you are struggling to go, I'm in that freedom period, I need to get into the next bit. I need to,